Today in the Sartorial Chef, we are saying goodbye to the fish fry, kicking things off with a fresh spring salad featuring my homemade Parmesan dressing. Next, for the entree, it's salmon croquettes with a lemon garlic dill aioli. And lastly, for dessert, it is my dear friend Aggie's birthday, and I have whipped up a no-bake raspberry lime cheesecake. So why don't you pull up a chair and dine with me? Welcome back to the kitchen, everybody. It is Friday, and it is still Lent. And let me tell you, I am fished out. Lent is that time of year when Catholics are not supposed to eat meat, but we're allowed to have fish. And I've been to fish fry after fish fry, and I am fished out. But it's still Friday, and I thought, what is something fish related I can do that is not breaded and fried whitefish once more? And I thought, salmon croquettes. So I'm dicing up some celery here, just really small dices. That's going to go right into my bowl. I've also got an onion here. We're just going to snip this end off. I'm only going to use about half this onion. It's just me, so I'm not making a huge portion. Now, if you're cooking for a large family or something like that, you can always double my portions. I'm just going to get the peel off here. And of course, with the onion, you know, we slice through the middle. And then we come down lengthwise. And then come back again. We have nice little diced pieces of onion. Okay. Alright, that's pretty good for the onion. That's going to go right into my bowl as well. Alright. Now, we can't have salmon croquettes without salmon. And this is just pink Alaskan salmon. Now, if I can find salmon on sale, I will do the real salmon. And I will flake it myself. I will cook it off and flake it myself. But this works just fine. It's a little bit better quality salmon than just a typical plain canned salmon. We're just going to drain all this liquid off because we do not need it in our croquettes. That is going to give us a soggy croquette. And I'm just going to dump that right in. Now some seasonings. I've got some salt here. About 2 teaspoons of salt. A teaspoon of pepper. And I think I'm also going to throw in a little Old Bay. Old Bay is just a classic seasoning. We're going to do about a couple teaspoons of that. It's a classic seafood seasoning. Anytime I'm doing like a crab cake or a salmon croquette, or I'm doing like a breaded fish, I love, love, love the Old Bay. And we've got some breadcrumbs here. This is panko. I like the panko. It's going to give us a nice crisp outer exterior to our croquette. And I'm just going to do about a cup and a half of the breadcrumbs. And I've got an egg here, and this is just a room temperature egg. I kind of like all my ingredients to be the same temperature so they all mix the same. And the egg is going to work as a binder to bring all of our ingredients together. Alright, now that salmon is smelling a little gnarly right now, but trust me, after it's been in the frying pan for a few minutes, it is going to be absolutely delicious. So we're just going to come in here with clean hands and mix this together. We want our ingredients to be nice and incorporated. Okay, This is looking pretty good. Bring that egg and breadcrumb together. Alright, and this is our mixture, ladies and gentlemen. Looking pretty good. Alright, our oil is good and hot, and I'm going to go ahead and plop these babies in. Now this will make a few servings, and I'm going to do pretty decent size here. Not quite softball size, but bigger than golf ball size, so about like that. And I'm going to drop that right into our oil. This is going to make about 4 servings. Again, you can double the recipe, use another can of salmon, and just double the recipe if you want it to cook for a larger group. But since it's just me, I'm just going to do 4. And you can always, this is another one of those meals that I like to do in bulk sometimes. You can store it in the fridge, you can store it in the freezer and pop it out when you're ready, and fry them up again or throw them in the oven, even my toaster oven over there. Okay, so those are going to cook away. And I'm going to wash my hands. This has egg in it. Anytime I'm working with any kind of eggs or raw meat or anything like that, I always want to make sure that I wash my hands. Now those are going to cook away about a few minutes on both sides. We want a nice crunchy exterior with a soft middle, and we want to make sure they're cooked through. So we're going to move on to my aioli. There's a lemon garlic dill aioli that I'm just going to sprinkle over the top of these. It's going to be delicious. So first, I've got a couple more room temperature eggs here. Now I just want the yolk of the egg, I don't want the whole egg. So I've got this little guy here. And I'm just going to separate this egg out. We're going to use the shell here. And you just want to go back and forth gently. And what that's going to do is that's going to pull the white apart from the yolk, and you're just left with the yolk. And you want to be careful not to bust the yolk, because then it's going to mix into your whites. So there's that one there. And I like using this little container here, because it's going to help me keep from making too much of a mess. Throw your shells and your whites in here and you're done. Okay, and that is our second yolk. That is looking pretty good. Okay, let's set this guy aside for now. Again, we want to wipe our hands off working with egg. Okay. Now I've just got some fresh ingredients here. I've got a little dill. There's a couple sprigs of this left, so I'm just going to go ahead and take the whole rest of this. And I'm going to take my knife. Give this a rough chop. I just kind of like to go at it like this and pull the dill off of the stems. Then I will come back here, and we just want to go back and forth with our knife. A nice mince. You don't need to go too hard on the dill because it is going to be finely chopped in our food processor here. So that is the dill. Okay, and then I've got some garlic here. This is just some fresh chopped garlic. Now I use fresh garlic sometimes, but since we're chopping it up anyways, I thought why not just use the chopped garlic. And I'm going to do about a tablespoon of that. These guys sound like they are ready to be flipped. And I know I've told you guys before, you can tell anytime you're frying anything in the skillet, you know when it's ready to flip because you'll start to lose the sound of that sizzle. That means one side has cooked. And these are looking absolutely amazing, ladies and gentlemen. A nice golden brown crust. And We're just going to let it cook on the other side. Okay, so that is our dill and some lemon. I've got 2 lemons here. One I am going to use for a dressing on my arugula salad. The other one is going straight into my aioli. Now an aioli, it's essentially just a flavored mayonnaise, but I am making the mayonnaise from scratch this time instead of taking pre-made mayonnaise, because I think for the fish I like to stay a little on the fresher side. So I'm just going to squeeze this whole lemon here. I always like to hold my hand over top so I can watch for seeds. That's going to go right in here. The lemon, it's going to give a nice bright acidic tang, which I think pairs beautifully with seafood. But the other thing is the acidity in this lemon is going to help cook our eggs. It's going to help emulsify them. Okay, so that is just the juice of 1 lemon. Okay, we're going to pop our lid on here and turn this guy on. Now, to finish this off, a little olive oil. And I'm just going to do about a half cup of olive oil. Olive oil is what's going to bring this all together. Okay, this is looking great, guys. You will see here that it has come together nicely. It smells great with the lemon. You get the dill and the garlic, just a nice fresh condiment for our salmon croquettes. Okay, these guys have cooked through. I'm going to turn the heat off and I'm going to move them to the side. And we are going to work on my salad. Okay, salad time. I've got some spring mix here. I'm just going to drop that into my salad shooter here. I always like to rinse off anytime I'm working with lettuce or anything. You never know. There's pesticides or, just in general. So I'll run a little water over this. This thing's really nifty. Just pop this lid on here. And you give it a pull. And that thing is going to spin. And what it's going to do is it's going to pull all the moisture off of our lettuce here. And you can see where all the moisture is coming off. And our lettuce is going to be nice and crisp. Now you can always just rinse them through a strainer if you want and just let them sit and let that water come off. Time to toss our salad. First I'm going to put together my Parmesan vinaigrette. I'm going to start with the other half of our lemon here. Again, watching for seeds. So it's just the juice of 1 lemon. Alright. Now, to this, we're going to do about a half cup of olive oil. Alright. A little salt. Teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of pepper. I'm also going to come back with some more of this fresh garlic, and I'm going to do about a half a teaspoon of the fresh garlic. It's really strong, so you don't need a whole lot of it. And to make this a Parmesan dressing, I splurged and I got some fresh Parmesan here. I'm going to shave some to go on the salad itself, but I thought it would be fun to throw a little into my dressing here. And I'm just going to do about a tablespoon, about 2 tablespoons of the Parmesan, and I've got my little whisk here. We're just going to come in here and whisk this dressing up. Incorporate all those ingredients. Nice. And then I'm just going to dump this right into the bowl. Right. Okay, I've got my tongs here. I'm just going to come in here and toss this baby up. Get underneath here and grab some of that dressing and just pull it. What's great about the cheese too is it helps the dressing cling to your lettuce, which I really love. So good. Okay. Time to give this baby a taste and see what she is all about. So I'm going to plate a generous helping of my lettuce here. I want this to kind of be a bed for my croquettes. So I'm making kind of a dinner portion here. So there's that. Okay, and then I'm going to take some of this Parmesan. I'm going to take some more of this Parmesan, and I'm just going to shave some pieces to go right on top of this salad. I don't know about you guys, but I love cheese in my salad. And this is good fresh Parmesan. Does that not look delicious or what? And I'm going to get a couple of these croquettes here and just lay them right on top. And lastly, this delicious lemon garlic dill aioli. And I'm just going to take this and spoon it right over top of the croquette. I don't want to use too much because we're going to lose our crispy texture on top of our croquette, but I want to get a nice flavor of that. And voila! Say goodbye to the fish fry because we have salmon croquettes. Okay, first I think I'm going to come in here and get some of the salad. So good. The garlic, the Parmesan, and the lemon. It's fresh. Nice crisp lettuce. I like the spring mix. It's got a little bit of everything in it. Got a little radicchio for some crunch. The arugula gives it a nice peppery note. Absolutely delicious. Now for the croquette. And you can hear my knife go through that. That is that nice crunch we got from frying this in the skillet. Oh, so good. Salmon's one of your stronger fish, but I like it. I got the crunch from the onion and the celery. It gives it a nice texture. I didn't want it to be kind of one note, you know. So I thought, throw some fresh veggies in there. And that aioli, oh my gosh. The lemon, the garlic, the dill. It's just a nice little accompaniment to our croquette. Absolutely delicious. A perfect substitute for the fish fry. Okay, so that was dinner. Now it's time for dessert. It is my dear friend Aggie's birthday, and I am whipping up a special no-bake cheesecake just for her. So stay tuned. Alright, it is dessert time once again in the sartorial kitchen, and it is also my dear friend Agatha's birthday. My friend Andrea is spearheading this little shindig. We're all getting together at the bar tonight, and they're taking care of decorations and things, and I thought I'll make a dessert. Instead of having people just bring their store-made cakes and cookies, I thought I'll make something from scratch. And I'm going to do my no-bake raspberry lime cheesecake. So in this bowl I've just got some melted butter, and I'm adding a package of graham cracker crumbs. And it's just a stick of butter, and I'm going to mix this together. Now, none of us were really sure what her favorite dessert was, but she and I had dinner the other night, and I saw that she got this piece of cheesecake with a raspberry drizzle, and she really liked it. And I thought, you know, cheesecake normally, it's very labor intensive. You have to let it sit, then you let it bake, then you let it sit more. And I thought, you know, I can do a really simple no-bake option with a nice lime cream cheese mousse, and that's what I'm doing now. So, to jazz up our crust a little bit, I'm going to do about a teaspoon of cinnamon, and I'm going to do about a half teaspoon of nutmeg, and that's just going to give our crust another layer of flavor. Okay, this is looking pretty good. So, I'm going to set that aside for now. And we are going to move on to our mousse. For the mousse, we're going to start with about a quart of heavy whipping cream, which I've got here. That's just going to go right in. And to that, I have got a block of cream cheese here that I can just set out and let get to room temperature. And we're just going to plop that guy right in. Nice. Okay. And I'm also going to add a little sour cream here. Now what I like about the sour cream, it's going to give some body to the mousse, but it's also going to give it a nice little tang, which is going to play nicely with the lime and the raspberry. And I'm just doing a half cup of that. And then we're going to season it here with a little vanilla extract. We're just going to do about a half teaspoon of that. Okay. And last but not least, some sugar. We're going to need about a cup of sugar. And that's just going to go right in here. I have also got a little lime juice here that I'm just going to do a couple tablespoons of this. And that's really, with the lime and the sour cream and everything, that's really going to make our mousse zing. It's going to be a nice flavor for the mousse. Alright, we're going to throw our lid on. And we're going to give this a little pulse. Alright, this is looking pretty good. You don't want to over mix it because it's going to get really stiff and it's not going to do what we want it to do. But you want to look for stiff peaks. You should be able to turn your spoon upside down and it stays on the spoon. So that is exactly where we want to be. Okay, next is our mousse. Pop this guy out. Now what I love about this food processor is this nice big blade in here. It has this huge top to it, so it's easy to pull out and I don't have to worry about cutting myself. And then we're just going to come in here and plop this mousse right on top. And I'm going to do about half of this, and then we're going to come back and do another layer. Because it's going to be, I'm going to stack this kind of like a parfait. So I'm going to come in here. With our mousse. And I'm just going to spread this out, do a nice, even, generous layer on top. And what makes this a raspberry is raspberry preserves. I've got some right here. Now what's different between like preserves and like a jam, this one's has like the seeds in it and it's a little more rich in flavor, I feel like, as opposed to like a regular jam or jelly, which is mostly sugar. Alright, we are ready to put this baby together. We're going to start with our graham cracker crust. And I am just using a little disposable foil pan. What I like about this, if I'm going to like an event or like a picnic or something, this is easy. When it's empty, you just throw it out. I don't have to worry about taking home dishes and washing them. So I'm just going to do an even layer of the crumbs right on top. This is going to be our base layer. And we're going to press that in. Okay, and then we are ready for our mousse. I'm just going to come in here with these preserves and I'm just going to spread them around and kind of mix them in with the mousse. I might need just a little more here. Okay, that is looking pretty good. Another layer of the graham cracker crust. Make sure we do a nice, generous layer. And then I've got a little bit here that I'm just going to sprinkle on top at the end. So there's that. And then we'll come in here with the rest of our mousse and plop that down right on top. And we're going to spread this out. Okay, alright, that's it for our mousse. Time for our last bit of the jam. Alright, we will come back with my little knife here and we will spread that around. A nice, even, generous layer of that. And I kind of like to just swirl it into the mousse. It kind of gives it a nice color. And it is already smelling delicious, guys. Okay. Alrighty. Time for our last little bit of the graham crackers here. And I'm just going to go ahead and dump the rest of this out on top. And that is looking amazing. And I'm just going to kind of lightly spread that out over the top. Okay, this guy is looking pretty good. Okay, this guy is looking pretty good here. I'm just going to go ahead and wrap him up and stick him in the fridge. Again, if you were making this the day of, pop it in the freezer for a couple hours. Otherwise, I'm just going to cover this guy with some wrap and he's going to go in the fridge overnight. And he will be ready for his birthday party tomorrow. And I've got some fresh fruit I want to decorate this with. And we will come back and do that before we head out. See you guys later. Alright, I'm getting ready to take off. But I got one more thing I wanted to do here. I got some fresh raspberries. And I'm just going to take one and plop it right on top. I'm going to kind of press it down a little bit. This is all Going to be a nice fresh note to top off the dessert. It's also going to kind of mark the pieces. Nobody can fight over having a bigger piece. Everybody's going to get the same piece when we go to cut this. That looks absolutely delicious. Wrap this bad boy back up. And we are ready to hit the town. I will see you guys later at the party.
There you go.
Alright guys, we are at the bar now and my cheesecake is here and we are ready to serve it up. So how is it? Yeah, is it good? There you go. Yes, dig in. How is it? Fabulous. Is it good? Do you like it? Awesome. Yay. Alright guys, time to dig in. Amazing. You get the texture from the graham cracker. You get the tang of the sour cream. The raspberry, the lime. Absolutely amazing. And everybody seemed to enjoy it, which is always a plus. So, once again, you have been dining with the Sartorial Chef. And until next time.